Grace and peace to you, beloved. Amy Wilson Feltz here, coming to you from the parsonage of St. Paul's United Methodist Church in El Paso, Texas. Thank you for joining me for coffee with Pastor Amy. Thank you for joining me for the last time. This is the last episode of Coffee with Pastor Amy because, as you may know, my family and I are moving to Las Cruces in just a matter of weeks now. I have been appointed to serve at Morning Star Church in Las Cruces effective July 1, which means another pastor is coming here to serve at St. Paul's. And so as my family is preparing for that move, as we have been packing up the boxes in the parsonage and in my church office, I have been thinking about the last couple of years. We have been here for almost 2 years now. It has been an interesting season of ministry, to be sure. We have experienced some things in that time that we didn't expect and some that we did. Just 6 weeks after we moved here, the mass shooting took place in the neighborhood Walmart, just a couple of miles from the house and from the church. And so certainly that has shaped ministry in this time. And then I gave birth to Olivia Kay in November of 2019. Of course, we were expecting that one, and we were so grateful to welcome her into our family. And I went on maternity leave then for 8 weeks. I returned in January of 2020 with all of these ideas and plans that I had been working through with the church council through the direction of the Holy Spirit, we believed. And then the pandemic hit in mid-March, as you well know, because that is when we began meeting in this way. That's how Coffee with Pastor Amy came to be 15 months ago. We've been meeting this way for 15 months now, and I want to thank you for that. Coffee with Pastor Amy has been a centering practice for me as we have explored the ways that God has been at work, and I hope it's been the same for you. And so it's that same kind of work that I've been doing over the past couple of weeks as we've been packing these boxes, and I've realized we're not just emptying the house. We're not just emptying the church office. We're not just moving from one city and one church to another city and another church. We're making room. We're making room for the Holy Spirit to work in a new way. This is what we believe about our appointive system in the United Methodist Church. This is the way that it works. Pastors are sent for a certain season, for a period of time. And truly, we know we could be moved in any year. And we trust that the Holy Spirit is speaking to the cabinet and to the bishop as these decisions are being not just made, but discerned. We are making room. Right now in El Paso, at St. Paul's, and in this parsonage, we're making room for Pastor Bobby and his wife Cheryl and their sons Matthew and John Luke to enter into a season of ministry. And we know that God is at work in that. And a new season will begin for me and my family in Las Cruces. And so I'm sharing all of this with you this morning, not just to ramble and to let you know where I am in all of this, but to thank you for this season of ministry and for the innovation and the willingness to move about in the world, even from our own homes, right, from our couches, being able to engage in ministry in different ways as we continue to pursue our mission to love God, follow Jesus, and serve others. I want to thank you for a rich season of ministry, and I will take this experience with me because it has shaped me for sure, and I hope that the same thing is true for you as well. But the second thing I wanted to say this morning, the second reason that I'm sharing all of this, is that I want to encourage you to acknowledge whatever transition you are facing, whatever change is going on in your life, and to really examine that as a way to make room for the Holy Spirit, to make room for the Spirit of God to work, perhaps in ways that you haven't anticipated, because we do believe that our God is at work. We do not serve a watchmaker God that just set the world in motion and then sits back hands off. We trust that God is at work through us in the world for sure, but in many different ways. And so I encourage you, wherever you find yourself, whatever you find yourself facing, to look for ways that God is at work and to do what you can to make room for that Spirit to work in your hearts, in your mind, in your houses, in your churches, in your neighborhood, and make yourself available to participate in that work. Because God is moving in ways that we might not expect or imagine, but we can trust in God's faithfulness. That much certainly has been proven in our biblical narrative and in our own lives. So thank you again for your time, not just this morning, but for the past 15 months. And thank you for opening your hearts and your homes to me. And I will continue to be in prayer for you in this next season. Grace and peace.